was Don't Answer Me by Alan Parsons Project. And before that was Santa's shocking revelation about being on the Epstein list. Okay. Santa just has a bad habit of being in the middle of whatever's going on in the world, just the way it is. And but I think that gives a plausible explanation. Somehow, and sometimes in my work, I seem to be able to make a plausible explanation with absurd things. And so I'm glad to be able to do that. And if that one didn't make you offensive, I should play Ameriburger, but it's been such a long time since you heard my voice, I didn't want you to forget who I was. So I'm going to play the Ameriburger one, and I want to preference it by saying that this, when something's mentioned, it did actually happen in Florida, and it was weird, but it was a different time. And so we're going to play that, and there's some dancing involved in the Ameriburger sketch. So I'm going to play the Kinks with Come Dancing, which is a very melancholic song, too. It's about, to me, it reminds me of, like, a lot of going, you grow up with stores, you grow up with the mall, I grew up with a lot of stores in this town, and a lot of the mall, and my whole way of life, you take things for granted, you think it's always going to be there. Like when I was a kid, Kmart's were very like Walmart now, and to think that Sears and Kmart and things would be gone, and the places that you love to go to would be gone is just, you take it for granted that it's always going to be there, and it's not, and it's very sad, in a way. You don't see it coming, I suppose, that you because it's always been, people have always shopped, people have always done things. It's such a radical shift, in a way, to our culture. Even the way people watch TV now is radically different than the way they've done it for 50 years, where they would all watch it together, and talk about it the next day, and we'd all be on the same page, and we wouldn't have to, everybody wasn't all in their own little bubble watching things. We'd all watch it and talk about it and speculate for a week about what was going to happen next, like on Lost or, certain other shows, or talk about what we saw. And if you didn't see it, sometimes you're left out. So it was a lot of FOMO, like, that's why I used to watch a lot of award shows, because, you didn't, it wasn't YouTube stuff. Like, if you missed the Chris Rock getting slapped by Will Smith kind of thing, you missed it, unless you saw it, like, on Entertainment Tonight or Access Hollywood or something like that the next day, So it wasn't always on the news. It was always something that you kind of had to watch. So anyway, he's talking about how, he remembers his sister going and dancing at this place, and the place isn't there anymore, and it's sad. It's just kind of the way it was. I used to shop at Borders all the time, get CDs there, and it's gone. And used to go to a place here called Boogie Woogie, which is a CD store, and it was great, and had a lot of used stuff. And I used to go there every week or so, and buy stuff, and it's gone. And there's really just buying music. It's harder to buy music now, and I think it reflects on the charts right now, where we have Taylor Swift, and we have different people that are popular, and you have songs here and there that break through, that everybody kind of knows. But a lot of stuff is not having the same cultural power that it used to have. There's no cultural albums. There's no cultural shared moments. I've talked about this before, but you're seeing it like now, that there's not a lot of, everybody's kind of like different on watching different things, and sometimes there's things that unite us all and we're watching it, like the Super Bowl or something like that. But a lot of stuff, or movies, sometimes there's a big event movie and people watch it a lot at once, but a lot of times we're all kind of fragmented, and we've lost something, in a way, in our culture, and we've lost a lot of the places we could shop and buy music. And if you can't buy something, then you don't own it. You don't have any kind of, you don't have an ownership of it. You have nothing to it. You're just an observer. It's just the same as watching it on TV, and it's different, and you have no investment in it. And so it's different. And so I haven't really bought any music myself this year that was new. And that's probably the way it's going to be. It's harder to find new music, and plus I was in a Radiohead group, message board, and people talked about music a lot. And now I'm not around people who talk about new music a lot. We're talking about games, and we're talking about movies and TV and things like that. But so it's a different thing. So anyway, that's a long introduction for a Kinks song. But that's the way it is. And I hope you like this Ameriburger. It involves some dancing, and I think it's funny, and again, a little risky, but we'll see. And without further ado, here's my Ameriburger ad, and then you'll hear the Kinks song, and then something else. And then the next time I may play something a little longer. We'll see how we're doing on time. And I got something I know I want to play at the end. And I got a couple more little funny things to play. And without further ado, here is my Ameriburger ad about naked food, about the FDA taking out the red dyes and all that stuff. And it goes a little too far, of course. And the Kinks with Come Dancing. It goes a little something like this. Thank you for listening to the Crazy Craig Radio Show.